get into the tea. What they don't tell you about growing online quickly and becoming an influencer just in general. There were so many things that just were unexpected. I am happy you came by. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shonda, and today we're going to get into it with a recap of what I learned with my first year of being an influencer. For a while last year, I was pretty consistent for the most part with posting haul videos and trying to keep up with everything on YouTube. And then towards the later part of the year, I was just not active as much as I was earlier in the year. And that was mostly because there were so many things going on other social media platforms, namely Instagram. In 2022, I started with pretty much no following. I had a few hundred followers on Instagram at the beginning of 2022. And by the time 2022 ended, I had 9,000 subscribers, or almost 9,000 subscribers on YouTube, and 171,000 followers on Instagram, over 10K followers on TikTok, and about 5,000 almost on Pinterest. But I have roughly between 100 and I know at least 150,000 views monthly on Pinterest. So basically, I was kind of all over the place. You name it, I was probably somewhere there visibly. But of course, being in so many places online, especially for the first time ever and being new to everything, did have some challenges, I guess you could say, to where by the time of the end of last year, I was just not able to continue being as consistent on YouTube. Towards the end of the year, I don't know if it was just being burnt out. I guess it was. Like December, especially November, December, I was just pretty much running on fumes. By the end of the year, things had really died down a little bit on Instagram, and I just couldn't figure out what was really going on. So that was really discouraging. So that's one of the things that I'll get into. I dealt a lot with like imposter syndrome was a big one for me. I'm an overthinker by nature. And so overthinking was a big challenge for me. And comparison paralysis, I will say, was also another issue for me. Because again, as someone who grew very quickly in a short period of time on Instagram, I didn't have the experience to be able to say, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. This whole industry doesn't come with on-the-job training. When you go to start a new job, typically there's someone there that can train you, or either they have a training program for you to learn how to do your job. There's no such thing with this. It's all you learning how to do everything on your own, doing a lot of research, doing a lot of, just trial and error. What they don't tell you about growing online quickly and becoming an influencer just in general. First thing that they don't tell you, you may not know for sure what the specific niche is that people will gravitate to you. You have to let people tell you what it is that they're interested in by showing you through their response. So if you post beauty or skincare or self-care or makeup, whatever type of videos, as I did in the beginning, and you're not really getting as much interaction, then maybe switch it up and somehow, every now and then throw in either a day in the life or a vlog style video or a fashion video or something else. And then eventually, just keeping the rotation. I know they say niche down. Yes, you should niche down once you kind of figure out what you're niching down to. Okay, because again, I was primarily focused on makeup and things like that because it was easy for me to be able to create those videos, and that's just not necessarily my lane. Now, I do still create that type of content because people do still ask for that, but that's not my primary content. Because what I noticed when I did start putting a couple of different options out there was when I posted either a haul video or something fashion related, then I got a lot more views, a lot more engagement. That being the case, I wanted to make sure that I give the people what they want, okay? So you kind of have to play around and figure out what the people want and then keep giving that. Because when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's about your audience, your community that you're building and growing, and what they want from you is the thing that you should be doing, at least to start growing, because that's what's going to help, because they're asking you for that. They're looking to you as that, person, the go-to. And even if you don't necessarily feel like you're the expert, you must have something more, some more knowledge of it, whatever the area of interest is, than others, and they're looking to you for that inspiration. So take the cues from your audience and your people in the comments, how many people are viewing your content and things like that, and run with that. And then you can start to come back to the things that you like, because once you build your community, then you've got that relationship with them to where even if it's something that's not what they usually come to you for, they'll still follow and support and comment and like and things like that, because it's you, and they feel that connection and relationship with you. So don't worry as much about niching down. You don't want to necessarily do everything, like one day post fashion, one day post fishing, one day post makeup, one day post parenting, all the things. Try to narrow down some, but don't put yourself in so much of a box to where if it's not working, you still keep trying to make it work, because you got to just, it should just flow. It shouldn't necessarily have to just be forced as far as your content and how it connects with the audience, with the algorithm and things like that. It should kind of pick up on its own. Number 2, I will say mentally, it can be challenging. Mental health is very important. I will say this has been one of the more challenging things that I've done when it comes to career anyway, because again, there's no one to guide you. You're figuring out on your own, and it's really based on your own creativity and just kind of, again, having the willingness to be teachable and constantly trying to learn, because you're not going to know out the gate. You're not going to make perfect content just out the gate. And even if you do, it may not be picked up yet, because it takes a minute for whatever platform that you're on to even recognize who you are or recognize your content or anything like that. So during that process, be mindful of your mental health, because it can be challenging, and have someone to be able to vent to talk to share your frustrations and struggles and things like that. And maybe be even an accountability partner in that person as well. So that way, when things get tough or hard or anything like that, you'll be able to have that person to keep encouraging you, to build you up, and help you get through those tough times, because believe me, they will come. There were many times throughout last year where I was like, oh, I don't know if I can keep doing this. This is so hard. But you know what? Nope, I'm not going to give up. And that leads me to number 3. You have to be committed, because if you don't commit and you just quit, then you just basically waste your time, but you sabotage the potential opportunity that you have. If you quit too early, you lose that opportunity to be able to impact others, but also to be able to change your life, because I will say it has changed my life. So you have to be committed. And that was the very first thing I decided in the beginning of January of 2022, or actually it was towards the end of January 2022. I decided that I was fully committed and I was not going to give up for at least 6 months and see what happens. So I remember I wrote down on January 29th, 2022, I wrote down, "Dear me, in 6 months, I'm going to make you so effing proud." And so, because I don't know if I can say the F word on YouTube, but in 6 months, I'm going to make you so effing proud. And when I tell you in 6 months, I was blown away with how proud I was with all the progress that I had made, that I would have never even just known was going to happen, because 6 months later, I want to say is when I had 150,000 followers on Instagram. And again, I started with 300 and something. And I'm just a regular person. I'm just a regular mom. I have 4 kids. I have a husband. At that time I was working full time. I'm doing this full time now. And again, why I say this can possibly change your life. Number 4, you can't do all the things well. You can try to do all the things. And what I mean when I say all the things, be on all the platforms. So you may not necessarily be able to be very good at being on all the platforms. So try to focus on the primary one or 2 that is giving you the most bang for your buck, so to speak, because you're just one person. And if you try to do everything everywhere, again, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all the things, then you end up stretching yourself so thin that you get burnt out. And I think that's what happened with me last year, was that I just got burnt out because I was trying to do everything and still have a life and still, you know, spend time with my husband and my family. And it just got to be too much. So you can't do all the things. You want to try to focus on where you're most comfortable, where you spend the most time. I personally am a huge fan of Instagram. I guess I'm the generation that kind of grew up, so to speak, with Instagram, kind of like the new generation is growing up with TikTok. And so for me, Instagram is home, and that's also where I built a home for most of my community. Narrow your focus so that you don't get burnt out so quickly, because it's really easy to do and it's not necessary. So now we are really, this is where the tea really gets good, okay? Because when I tell you, having 100,000 followers on anything does not automatically guarantee anything, okay? When I tell you, people look at it and look at me and they're like, oh my goodness, you have 170,000 followers, yada, yada, yada. Sis, don't get it twisted, okay? It's not like that. When I tell you, when it comes to these brands and the brand deals and negotiating, that's a whole other story. So again, that just because you have a certain number does not equal that you're going to automatically be getting paid without question. Okay, I mean, some people might have that, but it ain't happening over here. I have to negotiate and pitch and email brands and have, you know, all the things. So that's one thing I will say. Don't think that automatically because you have 100,000 followers is going to automatically mean that you're going to get paid a lot of money, because there's some people that don't really get paid hardly at all that have a lot more followers than I do. On the flip side, there's a lot of people who don't have very many followers, maybe have, you know, 10, 15K, or, you know, micro influencers that do very well as far as how much they get paid. So basically, follower count does not equal money count, okay? I was able to work with Macy's as my first big brand deal. There was an influencer event that they hosted for us in November for the influencers that were in the Macy's style crew. And there were influencers that had, I know one lady, she had like 15 to, I think she had less than 20K followers. She'd been doing it for a lot longer, as far as, you know, been in the influencer world with a blog and Instagram and all the things. So she had a lot more experience under her belt for getting more money, whereas I didn't. And so therefore, it does not automatically equal that you're going to get paid a ton of money just because you have a ton of followers. You got to work for it, okay? What they don't tell you how to do is how to negotiate when it comes to brand deals. That's something that you kind of have to learn along the way. And this comes from somebody who, my job was to negotiate because I sold cars prior to this. You would get so many gifted offers. You would get ambassador offers where they're basically not paying you. They just want you to be ambassador. So you basically are on the PR or whatever each month to be able to get the products that they're launching. And you're one of the ones who shows support with, you know, whenever there's a new product that comes out. So you'll get a lot of gifted offers, you know, things like that, gifted collaborations, but those don't pay the bills. So you have to learn how to negotiate. And sometimes you'll get paid offers, but there'll be a low number because they're not going to just out the gate come to you with the most amount of money that they're going to pay you, because they hope that you will take a lower amount so they could save as much money as they can when it comes to paying influencers. If you take the first offer that they give you, then more likely you probably left some money on the table, because they have that offer is like, maybe we can get them to, you know, take $300 and see if she'll just do it for that. But in reality, like, you can negotiate and have them come back and accept an offer that you put out there of what you will actually charge for, like double what they come to the table, over double what they come to the table with. And so that's one thing that I will say, learning how to negotiate when it comes to brands is the key, because otherwise you're not going to make as much money, or you may not make any money, because the first thing they might try to do is just at least offer you some clothes or something that's, you know, not that valuable. And then maybe part B to that, because I don't even remember what number I'm on. But just to kind of follow up on that point, one thing I'm also learning is that when it comes to which brands pay, fashion brands don't pay as much as, say, some of the other brands like beauty, skincare, lifestyle, parenting, all those other brands, or industries, I should say, and brands within those industries usually pay more than within the fashion industry, which it is what it is, but just something that they don't tell you when you see all these fashion influencers online and they got all the clothes and they got all the, you know, it's because they're doing more than just brand deals with these brands. So one thing I say is good about being an influencer is that you do have the opportunity to have multiple streams of income. So you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. You can have your own brand and merch and all that other stuff if you want, or you can do affiliate income, because it's a lot of work. I never realized how much work goes into the whole thing, but it's a lot of work, even just getting the links and putting them, you know, getting the pictures and put them in your stories and doing all the things to be able to respond to where the links are and all those. That part right there, I need a whole assistant just for that. You have so many people that are constantly asking you for the links, and it's like, well, what point is it for you to send this business this money, because people are buying because you're sending them the link and they like what they see. So now you're sending this business all this money, but yet you don't get anything off of it, and you did all the work because you were the one that found the outfit or found the look, put it together, you know, shared it and put people onto it. That's just their way of being able to thank you for your work as far as helping people find an outfit and helping bring those people to those businesses. So don't feel guilty. I used to feel like maybe I shouldn't do this because maybe people will feel like I'm just trying to, you know, make money. And it's not about that. It's just, as a person who clicks on one of my links, you don't pay any more because you're clicking on my link. You're going to pay that amount either anyway, but that's just a way to support me, to make it easier for me to be able to continue doing what I do. And the same with any other influencer you follow. So I will say, if you ever see your favorite influencers, whether it's me or anyone else, posting sponsored content or posting links, please do us a favor and just share your support by clicking on the link. Even if you just click the link, that helps, because what that does is we have to share our analytics of how many people are clicking the link and all these different things, how many people, what your interaction with our content is. And just clicking the link, that doesn't cost you anything. You can click the link and go back out. You ain't even got to buy, okay? Just clicking the link and liking and leaving a comment saying, hey, that's fire, or love the look, or, you know, just a heart. Like, it doesn't take much to support and help out so much to where we can do so much more to be able to help you. Because I know, as a person who struggled for so many years with trying to figure out how to dress because I'm plus size and these clothes in the stores are trash. And trying to find, you know, influencer or somebody to give me some ideas, because like, I got a date tonight and it's my anniversary, and what am I gonna wear, you know? Or I have a vacation coming up and I want to look fly and feel good, even though I didn't lose 50 pounds this year. What should I wear for that? You know, and to be able to have somebody to go to for that, we couldn't do it as well as we try to do it without your support. And so just wanted to throw that out there, because again, that's something that I didn't know, and nobody really ever told me how important it was to support influencers just in those ways. Again, it don't cost you anything, but whenever I personally see another influencer, now that I know, when I see another influencer that I follow, that I'm inspired by, whatever the case may be, when they post sponsored content, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna click on a link. I might not buy, but I'm gonna click on a link. I'm gonna leave a comment. I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna engage with that, because I know even just doing that alone is just helping them when it comes to what they have to send as far as their report to the brand. Because just like when you have a job and you gotta, you know, be able to show your boss what your results are at the, you know, quarterly, you know, review, we have to do that too. And I didn't know that before. And those are the things that they don't teach you. You know, nobody talks about when you have a brand deal, after you create the content and put it out there for that brand, guess what now they want? Now they want you to send all the analytics of how many people liked, how many people clicked, how many people went to the website, how many people did all these different things. So there's a whole other like aspect of work to do after you even finish the content before you get paid. So yeah, that's another thing that nobody tells you before you become a content creator. The next thing that they don't tell you about being a content creator or influencer is the dreaded plateau. I'm pretty sure that everybody goes through it, but at some point in time, if you are doing it long enough and you stick with it, it's almost impossible to not hit a plateau. And so for me, my plateau kind of started in October, right after my birthday. Right after my birthday, I got sick. I had COVID. Right after that, when I tried to bounce back because I really couldn't post, I really just didn't feel good. Obviously, I was sick, I had COVID. So I really wasn't posting and engaging and doing a whole lot during that week. By the time I came back, I don't know if Instagram algorithm changed or what happened, but when I tell you, it was like everybody was gone. I was like, what happened to everybody in my stories and, you know, all the things? And I don't know if it was because of me, you know, taking a break or Instagram. I think Instagram changed the algorithm because there was a lot of people that were having the same experience at that time. But regardless, ever since then, it's been a plateau because I've been trying to figure out where do you get back into the algorithm or how to, you know, get back in. And you're just going to go through the plateau. But guess what? You got to keep pushing. You got to keep posting. You got to keep, you know, engaging and showing up for your community, and don't let it get you down. Like I will say for me, it really got to me because I was like, what am I doing wrong? Maybe I need to switch it up. You know, that's when the imposter syndrome starts to kick in real bad. But you just got to know that it's going to come. And it's kind of like, are you really with this? Or you just, you know, here for a little while, and then when things ain't going great, you just move on to something else? Because that's going to really show the true people who are really with it from the ones who are just, you know, not really serious about it. And I think that goes with a lot of things when it comes to like manifesting and getting what you really want. You got to really show, are you in it? Or are you just kind of in it? And then when it ain't so easy anymore, you're going to bounce off and do something different. Because if that's the case, then that will show, that test right there will basically be the way to kind of weed out the ones who ain't serious. Me, I ain't going nowhere. Okay. It took me a minute to be able to get my mind back right because that was really messing with me. But now that I've kind of gotten to this place where it's like, you know what, I'm going to just keep creating. I'm going to just keep posting. I'm going to just keep doing what it do. And I'm going to leave the rest up to God, because when I tell you, I do my part, I let my boo do his part, and then we'll just make it work. And eventually things will pop back or come back or whatever the case may be. Not gonna stress out over it anymore. It did get me at first, but I had to recognize, okay, I see what this is. Because the thing is, when you see a test, you have to recognize that that's a test, and it's trying to see, are you ready for the next level? Or are you still got more work to do on this level? Do you still have some more learning to do on this level? Because if so, guess what? You can't go to the next level. You got to pass the test. And so going through this test of this plateau recently, where it's like, I hardly have had any growth over the last couple of months, but you know what? It's all good, okay? Because 2023 is here. It's a new year, and leads me to the next point, which is you can't give up, okay? When it comes to anything in life, but I'm gonna speak to the influencer because that's what we're talking about, you just can't give up. If this is something that you really, really want to do, if you've always thought of or wished or dreamed to have a YouTube channel or be on Instagram, or you see all these people blowing up on TikTok and getting these massive brand deals and things like that. I think there's a lady, Alex Earl maybe, on TikTok that just recently, like, I think she got like over 3 million followers now. Somebody said that she charges like 6 figures for a brand deal now. It's just overnight kind of blew up, like within the last year, but probably like last 6 months or so. I don't know. It was quick. But if sis now is able to ask for 6 figures just for one brand deal, you know, anything could happen. And so don't let your fear hold you back. Don't let your overthinking hold you back, where you might think, oh, you're too young or too old or too anything. The market is too saturated. Again, I'm 41 years old. I grew a following of all across online on the internet, almost 200,000 people in my community, and it's oversaturated niche of fashion. And yet it still happened in 2022. So what can happen for you in 2023? There's no limit. There's no telling what can happen for you in 2023, because I'm going to tell you, I don't see myself as anything spectacular or special or anything from anybody else. I mean, there's somebody else who this year will probably come along and blow past, way past what I've done. Matter of fact, I actually follow people who have blown past, way past what I've done in a similar time span. So just don't give up and get started. If that's something that you really want to do, make sure you get started. And if you have watched this video all the way through to this point, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment. I told you, you know how to support us and you know how to support me now. So make sure you go ahead and show some love and support. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.